Hey there YouTube, what is going on? My name is Taco Gaming HD here today, and in today's video I want to be talking a little bit about Destiny's Crucible. Now, mainly I decided to start off with a normal PvE video because honestly I have been tired of playing PvP. Overall, I just haven't really been enjoying too much PvP at the time, mainly because of everything that's going on in PvP so far. Now, I actually wanted to speak to you guys about current PvP issues. Now, mainly I want to let you guys know that, as you can see, I'm playing as my character right now. I'm a Titan main. It's my favorite class. Just letting you guys know I've been playing Destiny since year one, and we're just gonna get directly into the conversation here. To me, Crucible has never really been, for instance, how do you say, balanced. It's always been one gun always surpasses the others, and I do apologize if there's background noise. I do have my Xbox running, so like if you hear any background noise, that's my Xbox. So regardless, PvP has never really been balanced overall. I'm just giving you guys my opinion as well, so please don't bash on me on it. I'm just spreading my opinion here. If you guys have any opinions on Destiny's PvP, please go ahead and comment down below what you think. What do you think about Destiny's multiplayer and whatnot? Things like that. Please do not fight. I do not like when people fight when it comes to, for instance, opinions. So let's dive in. It's never really been balanced. So what I was saying before. Like I said, I'm a year one veteran. I've been playing Destiny since practically, not really day one, but I've been playing since week one. I am a beta player, basically. Been playing ever since the beta came out. Actually, this is my beta Titan, but I'm sorry to always sidetrack. I always get sidetracked. Regardless, it's never really been balanced. If we remember correctly, back then, the two top guns that crowded the Crucible back then was the Suros regime, which is my favorite exotic in the game. That's why you see me using it. The Suros regime and the Vex Mythic class kind of ruled over PvP, just as it went to Last Word and Thorn. Auto rifles were at the top of their game. Then came, auto rifles. Like I said, they were top of the game. They can hand cannons. The two that usually ruled were Last Word and Thorn. You also had shotguns at their time, as well as fusion rifles. It's always been a jumbled mess. So that's one of the main problems, is that Destiny can't really, in a way, so to speak, can't really keep their shit together when it comes to PvP. So why am I telling you this? Okay, so we're gonna be speaking about like certain topics on this subject. The first topic I'd like to talk about is metas. Now, you may not know what a meta is. If you don't know, basically it's like, in a way, a certain, well, the way I understand it, is like a certain, for instance, since it's Destiny is a first-person shooter, in this certain way, it's like a certain type of gun or weaponry that basically rules all others. It doesn't necessarily pertain only to Destiny, but to other games, that are like multiplayer wise, I guess, if I'm not mistaken. Mainly I've only heard the term meta and like Destiny and whatnot, because this is like one of the top multiplayer games that I actually play. But regardless, let's get back into it. So basically, the meta, there's always going to be a meta, and my friend and I actually had a really big discussion about this, and he was right that there was always going to be a meta. Mainly what I believed at the time was that, I thought that the Taken Kings multiplayer would bring more diversity into Destiny. That was my rebuttal, because at the time I was trying to defend Destiny's multiplayer, because at the time when I was saying that with my friend, it was our conversation about Thorn and how overpowered it was in the Last Word at their time. At the time, when they were the top two guns like go to in trials and whatnot, which is kind of another topic, but that's in, that'll be later on in this video, and if I can't get to that, we'll do it in a later video. But basically, we were having a discussion about how there's always going to be a meta, and at the time, I kind of didn't really believe him in a way, mainly because I thought that the Taken King was going to bring more diversity, as you read that the Thorn and the Last Word were going to be practically nerfed, and they were going to buff auto rifles and basically make everything completely quote-unquote balanced and whatnot, which that's what they made it seem like anyways. But obviously that's not how it worked out. Pulse rifles were overpowered for a certain amount of time, actually. Basically, what I'm trying to get at here is that Destiny's multiplayer it's never really been balanced to begin with, and the meta is the main thing that tends to get me when I play PvP. Now, mainly, I'm not really too bad at PvP. I kind of maintain an average score. Mostly, the lowest score I got is 0.9. Now, in many eyes, that might be a little bad. I don't necessarily disagree with you. It is pretty bad. I'm letting you know now. I tend to maintain an okay. I'm not saying I'm the best. I tend to maintain an okay-ish score. Then again, it all depends on what game mode. I mostly play Clash and Mayhem Rumble and whatnot, and I have pretty decent ones. I have over 1.0 KDs in Mayhem Rumble and whatnot like that. But, I'm overall, I guess, a pretty decent player. I always have my on and off days, basically. But the meta is usually what tends to get us Destiny players. For instance, if this is how I see it in Bungie's eyes. Basically, if there is one particular gun, for instance, let's take the Thorn, because Thorn at the time was 2-shot walkaway, practically. Let's say Thorn, right? And of course, everyone in the forums was like, "Yo, dude, this gun is way too overpowered. It's stupid. It's like to the point where the Crucible is unplayable." So basically, in my eyes, I usually see Bungie take this as a, how do you say this? They kind of nerf the weapon to the point where it's not even usable. And I'm not saying that Thorn isn't usable. You could still use it. It's a 3-shot, though they kind of nerf the stacking and whatnot. But in my eyes, I truly believe that Destiny, what they tend to do is they nerf a gun to a point where they know players won't use it, and then those players will eventually find another gun that Bungie decided not to nerf, and then everyone tends to use it again, and thus creating a new meta. The gun doesn't necessarily have to be overpowered, it's just mainly overused. So right now, as Destiny goes, we are experiencing, again, another certain type of meta, but this is kind of a meta that we haven't really seen before. We've seen auto rifle meta, hand cannon, we've seen all type. To me, the one that really gets us now is the sniper meta. Mainly, I'm not saying snipers are bad. I'm really not. There are really many good snipers like me. I like to use the I believe it's the Crucible sniper. I just recently got it. It's a fantastic sniper. And the Black Spindle is actually a pretty good sniper too. So I am not saying overall that snipers are overpowered and they should be nerfed. No, I'm not saying that. Though a lot of people, because they nerf shotguns to the point where, they are usable. I still use shotguns just like I use fusion rifles and everything else, basically. Snipers are the most kind of overused secondary in the game as of now. Usually there goes with the combo. That's the most used secondary so far now. There's, like I said, the meta always pertains to a certain type of gun, and then which the class for now is the sniper rifle. And the one gun that everyone tends to use is the 1,000-yard stare. Now, the 1,000-yard stare is an easily attainable sniper rifle practically. You can get it from the I believe it's a Vanguard quartermaster, not quartermaster, the Vanguard person that sells the guns. I have no idea. I forgot his name. He sells the 1,000-yard start. I believe you can get it off of legendary engrams and nightfalls and stupid crap like that. It's basically that sniper is easily attainable to everyone. I know I have one. All of my friends that have been playing Destiny have either gotten one or already have one. I have one. So overall, since it's a very easily attainable gun, they tend to use it more than any other gun. Sometimes I would be playing Crucible, and I don't know how I'd get usually headshot out of nowhere. Maybe they have a great, like a zoom on me, but sometimes I'd be crouched, and somehow, I don't know, dude. They end up headshotting me. Now, I'm not complaining about the sniper, but sometimes the kills can be completely ridiculous. So, it's always the meta that people tend to follow, and it's not their fault. It's really not. It's like Bungie nerfs a type of like weaponry, and you have to look for another type of gun that actually works, because I remember Bungie nerfing shotguns to the point where like you can't really like switch to it as fast. It takes a little while even to aim and to shoot it. It's just and that's mainly why people tend to migrate over to different types of weapon classes. Now, I'm not saying this pertains to everyone. Maybe people hate shotguns. Maybe other people hate snipers. Maybe they hate both shotguns and snipers and go for fusion rifles. Everyone has their own taste. But there's some people that do not like the way that they nerfed it, so they have to go to something else which feels a little bit more comfortable with them, which pertains to snipers, which is why people tend to use snipers more than anything now. Going into primaries, the two primaries that I mainly see now are usually Mida Multi-Tool or the Last Word. Now, I understand the Mida Multi-Tool. It's a great way to counter snipers mainly, at least for me. That's when I use the scout rifle, people just tend to pull out snipers, and I usually tend to pick them off with Mida, trying to get their headshots, and when they peek their heads out and whatnot. But overall, I don't really use the Mida. I like to use guns that I feel most comfortable with. Now, that's why I like using the Source Regime. The two perks overall are fantastic for the spinning up perk and the focus fire one. I think focus fire is more for PvE in my opinion, and the spinning up is more for PvE. PvE, PvP. Excuse me, and that's mainly what I like using. Though when I use Mida, I usually use it as a counter for snipers and whatnot. Now I understand why people like to use it, as well as they like to tie it in with. There's actually one certain shotgun that a lot of people like to use, which is the conspiracy theory. Now, although honestly, I truly do believe that, in my opinion, I'm not saying, I tend to use shotguns. I use the Iron Banner one. I personally don't really like the conspiracy theory. Actually, I think it's kind of a little bit of a crutch, at least in my eyes. I've used it. A guy tried to shoot me with like a shotgun. He tried to shoot me with like a party crasher or something, and I ended up one-shotting him from 6 feet away. I don't know. I didn't even have rangefinder on it. I still kind of shot him and just killed him. I don't know. But basically, it's not even like, how do you say, it's just the certain guns that people use, because Bungie tends to nerf guns to the point where it's just, to me, I see that, and I agree with people that they're just unusable anymore. Like, you can't use them. Like, the auto rifle nerf was just truly disgusting, in my opinion. It was horrible. It was horrifying. It was terrible. This is so bad. Like, you could barely use an auto rifle. That's why people migrated to hand cannons and tried using scout rifles and whatnot. So that's one part, in my opinion, that kind of makes Destiny not really, the multiplayer not too good. Number one, it's the meta. There's always going to be a meta, unless Destiny changes their ways and makes Crucible balanced, which I don't really see that happening anytime soon, in my opinion, because number one, it's never really been balanced, so to say, at least in my eyes. Now, number two comes a big thing where a lot of people tend to talk about, and I truly do agree with them. It happens to me all the time, and that's lag. Lag in Destiny, I don't know. After the Taken King dropped, I have not seen like so much lag in my life. In year one, there were some people that would lag, and we'd laugh. We have a good laugh about it, but mainly we wouldn't see so much lag. It wasn't common, at least to me. It was never really too common. I mean, yeah, I see people lag. Yeah, of course, it's a normal thing when you play multiplayer first person shooters and you go into multiplayer. You're always gonna see that one guy lagging, but excuse me. After the Taken King dropped, it seems like there was a giant increase in those people that now I'm not saying that the people are at fault here. I mean, sometimes there's probably that one guy that probably had a lag spike, or their internet just isn't too well and they can't afford better internet. It's not their fault, and it ends up making them lag. And the problem is it's not the person that's lagging. Now, a lot of people might say it is, and I don't know. If it truly is lag switchers, then I mean that's a totally different story. Lag switchers and cheaters overall are just, I don't understand that portion. Which that's actually another part, but I'm going to continue with this one. The lagging isn't really their fault. Um, maybe they just can't afford better internet. Maybe a lag spike is going on now. What truly is, it's kind of Bungie's fault in a way. Basically, it's as if the actual server that for instance, that we're playing on, or the type of for instance, like, let's say like a server, we're playing on a server, and this server, if one person is lagging, it's like the entire team starts lagging. Because the thing is that sometimes, or well, most of the time, maybe one person's internet is bad and they start lagging, and then it affects another person, and it just becomes like a chain reaction where a lot of people just end up lagging, and it's just horrible. It's terrible. And for instance, it's just, the lag just gets out of hand, and I think that's where Bungie kind of screws up a little bit, is with the lag. Like, they don't they say that they're trying to decrease the amount of lag, but I don't really see that happening. I still see a lot of people lagging. Hell, we were actually playing Iron Banner the other day with my friends, and I ended up shoulder charging a warlock, shooting him with my shotgun, and using my melee, my storm fist, and my storm fist went away completely, mind you. And the warlock ended up killing me with the melee. I don't know how that worked. I really don't. It was lag, and then everyone else just started lagging. We tried to shoot the rift runner, and he didn't die like whatsoever. He just kept going, and it's things like that makes you a little angry. That it affects not only you. It doesn't affect only the person that has the bad internet. It affects the other people around them. Now, like I said, it's not their fault. Maybe they can't afford better internet, so you can't really blame them. What I do suggest people doing, oh, not people, but Bungie overall, back in Black Ops 2, I remember me being able to go into settings and going to find matches that have very well internet, and hell, you barely see anyone lag in there unless there's a lag switch or some shit. But I rarely saw lag in Black Ops 2, which is definitely an option that should be available in Destiny's PvP. Okay, so now that we have lag and metas out of the way, now another thing that really bothers me is the res sniping. Now, if you don't know what res sniping is, it's basically when people revive you in skirmish, classic 3v3, Trials of Osiris, anything like that. You end up getting revived and you get headshot. Now, it is fair to a certain degree. Maybe they don't want people to just how do you say, they don't want you to get a chance to for instance, beat them in a way, and that's totally fine. I get it. Though what truly bothers me is the fact that they'll just stand at your body. And I know I've done it too. It's just, to me, it's just ridiculous. Maybe some people won't agree with me. Maybe they think that it's a good thing, so people can, for instance, I don't know. I lost my train of thought there. Mainly, it's a good strategy is what I'm trying to get at. Maybe people think it's a fantastic strategy. It's, how do you say, it's a good strategy when you're playing Trials of Osiris, a competitive game. But for instance, it just doesn't seem too fair to me that when you get revived and you have a sniper, you get rezzed, and then the animation takes like 6 seconds, which allows them to kill you. I just think that's just a little unfair on Bungie's side. But hey, I mean, it happens. People, it happens to people, and to me, just because I've done it before, I have. Not too many times because I'm not really a sniper. I don't really like sniping. But overall, it tends to happen. That's just one of the little things that tend to bug me. As well as the what I believe that the Sun Singers tend to self-res to get one shot across the head, which is just, I have no idea how to say it. They're using their super and boom, they just die because of a shot to the head. But overall, those are kind of the two main things that bother me. The res sniping doesn't really faze me as much because it's like it can go both ways. It tends to be fair because, remember, it's competitive. It's a competitive game, and you really want to win. So I understand the res sniping and whatnot, but the other two are kind of like to me at least the two main points on Destiny's PvP that should be kind of fixed. I will be making more videos on Destiny's PvP and other other topics on the said subject. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me what you think. If there's anything you don't like from Destiny's multiplayer, go ahead and comment it down below. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe to my other YouTube channel, and I will see you guys in the next video.